The Ball Guy Show starts right now. Hope you enjoy the show. Make sure you like, share, subscribe.
What's up, everybody? Hey, another episode, season 3, episode 3. I have a freestyle legend that's going to be joining me today. And speaking of freestyle and freestyle legends, DFW, freestyle fans, get ready. Because guess what? May 16th, we have 3 legends coming on, and they are going to be at DFW's Car and Toy Museum in Fort Worth, Texas. Sharon Massarin, Deneen, and Jocelyn Enriquez will be performing live and singing their huge freestyle hits. This is going to be exciting and a ton of fun. Like I said, talking about freestyle legends. My next guest, he is a producer, artist, music arranger, vocal arranger, studio engineer, writer. His music has been heard on radios across the nation and on shows like the Geraldo Rivera, Batman the series, and a bunch of other shows. So let's welcome in. Yeah. All right. Artie, thank you, bro, for joining me, man. And before we get into the music, man, tell me a little bit about yourself for the listeners, who might not know who you are. Where you grew up and, what was life, like back then growing up?
I was Manhattan born, Brooklyn raised, and Bronx cultured. I've been in the music business since I was a kid. At 9 years old, I started in church with my grandmother. I was playing the drums. I started doing little shows with salsa band, and I started dancing with some old guys with guitars. We used to do a lot of boleros and stuff.
Okay.
Freddy Rodriguez, all of that stuff. And I learned music through those guys. And I used to do weddings and stuff with salsa bands way back then. I didn't know a stick of Spanish, but I did what I could. And I had a lot of fun. And now I'm in the music business. I've been in the music business for so many years. And now estoy total metido since I was 18 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who were your biggest influences? Who were your biggest inspirations?
I would say Elton John. Of course, Jose Feliciano.
Oh.
Again, Felipe Rodriguez, Tito Rodriguez, and of course, the piano man himself. I love his music, but my mind just went blank.
Joe.
Yeah, I hate that. It's been happening so much
Bro,
lately.
me too. And what sucks is it happens right when you want to have the name or you want to say the phrase or the name of a song or the name of a show. It happens. You want to say it when you have to say it like on camera. Se te va. Tranquilo. I mean, there's only one piano man, and that is Billy Joe.
There you go.
But
it just right before you said it, it came to me.
It's interesting. These are your influences, but freestyle is what you went to.
Well, I started with house music.
Así todo.
Yeah, I started with house. I started with house music, or what was called back then Latin house music. And I used to hang out with Frankie Knuckles. I used to hang out with a couple of DJs that used to play my stuff and teach me what was going on. I was always in the clubs for free. I used to go in, on the freebies, and I used to learn and listen to the house music. And of course, when I got into the house music, I didn't know what this thing was because it was called Latin hip hop. Back then, it wasn't called freestyle. I don't know where freestyle came from.
Neither do I.
But yeah, when I heard when I got into it, they called it Latin hip hop. There was my Miami Sound Machine. There was Idis Chacon did a song. It's a whole bunch of people who did this music that was starting to be popular on the radio, and it was called Latin hip hop. It was called lofting. It was called that, but it was never called freestyle. I didn't know what freestyle was.
At one point, it was even called new wave, right?
It was always called.
At least in Miami, it was.
Every time that it got played, like with the Miami Sound Machine and all these other acts that were doing it, it was called dance music, and that's what it was called, dance music. It was a Latin hip hop on the down low, and that's how I started. I just got into it very slowly, and I heard and saw a very beautiful woman singing for the first time in my life, and I couldn't believe the voice that was coming out of her, and that was Judy Torres. I got to see her live, and that was still called dance music, hip hop, Latin hip hop. And when I saw her doing her thing, I bugged out. I was like, wow. It totally amazed me. Then I got to see other groups, like the Latin Rascals. I got to see them. They were amazing. As a matter of fact, they were really amazing. The way that they were producing with the computer and stuff like that was because I used to do a lot of rock and roll in the studio where I worked in Manhattan. But we never used a computer. We only used a computer to master songs, to send to the mastering lab. So that was a new way of doing it. We'll put it on a big floppy disk and send it to the mastering lab on this new program called Pro Tools. And it only had like 4 tracks to put down music. And then you just take it and send it to the mastering lab. But back then, I just got into it very slowly. And then I learned about drum machines, and I learned the stories and stuff like that. And it bugged me out, totally bugged me out. And then I stood in freestyle ever since.
And okay, and so do you still do house music? Do you still dabble with house music? Do you mash it together with a little bit of freestyle? I know when you go to the club, back in the day when I used to go to I used to hear the freestyle mesh a little bit with the house, and used to mix it. The DJs used to mix it. Do you dabble with it when you do your music?
Well, back then, what they would do was called mixing the house. When the producers wanted the DJs to play their stuff, they would mix a little bit of house beat with their stuff in the break, sometimes in the intro. And that, the DJ can go ahead and mix it with house music and then let the freestyle roll or the dance music roll because it was dance music. But back then, there were people starting to blend house music with freestyle like this. There's actually some dance music that you can hear that blended house music with it, and it has a nice house intro, and then all of a sudden it breaks out into this dance music. The only one that I can tell that really fused it was La India, and that was because of Little Louis Vega, the way that he, put a little hip hop into a little freestyle, and then a very heavy house type of situation. And it was really cool with what he did with that.
Yeah. And going back to your influences, early influences, did any of those early influences impact the way you produce today?
Well, I love writing with songs that have a meaning, something that it was one time I did a song with Johnny O that had to do with the Lord. That was really important to me. It was I call it the gift that was given to. I wrote that song in like 5 minutes. And I wanted it. It was something that was given to me by Freddy Lopez. He showed me a track, and I said, I'll be right back. I got influenced. So I think I got touched so badly by the spirit that I was like, I just went on ahead and wrote it. And then prior to that, me and Johnny, 10 years before that, said, let's do a duet for God. Let's do something for God. So I said, okay, well, after I did it, I showed it to Freddy the other Rivera, and he screamed. He was like, oh my God. And then I called Johnny O and I said, Johnny, that duet you always want to do about the Lord, something for the Lord? Here it is. And he bugged out. But songs like that, something that has meaning, like something that I wrote for my wife when she passed away. She got to hear a song that I wrote for her before she passed. And I made a video out of it. It's called So This Is Love. Finally, a man that was shown and taught to be a man by a woman that he fell in love with. And so I titled it, So This Is Love. This is what love is. And so if you look at the video's on YouTube, but it's an homage to my wife. I like to do songs like that with meaning. I can write songs like that, but I really get into stuff that's really important to my soul. And so, when I hear Billy Joel singing songs about, Saigon and singing songs about New Jersey and singing songs, that touches me. I like the way he poured himself into the music. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Well, first of all, talk about your wife. Talk about your loss. I know you lost her, a couple years ago now?
2 years ago, yeah.
So sorry about your loss, man. That's amazing. It's amazing you were able to give her that gift,
Yeah, before she passed, yeah.
She went to be with the Lord. That's
Amen.
Amazing. And what was it like to collaborate with the one and only Pastor Johnny O? Okay, he's Pastor Johnny Ortiz now.
I actually had the song written, and so I asked him, "Hey, Johnny, take the second part," and he recorded it in his studio. I redid the drums. I wanted the drums to be a little more punchy. So Freddie the editor gave me that permission to do that, and I was like so happy for him. But it was wonderful to work with him because he actually really felt the song, and so much so that he actually would perform it, with his set. So he was actually spreading the word and letting people know they're not alone.
Yeah.
And so that message was really important to me.
That was really important. I believed, right? Is that I believed?
I believed it's something I did on Exit Records.
Okay.
And I believed was a song that I wrote with my wife going to school. We were going to school. And when I wrote that song, I believed it was on the train. It was because I was listening to some drum beat that I had in my head, and I wrote it out. And we didn't get off the train until I finished writing the song. And my wife, Benita, my wife was so supportive. And we took the train. We took the train, and then we took the train back.
Wow.
And then I wrote it. And then I wrote it all out, and I said, I got it, honey. I got it. I got home. I turned on the drum machine. I wrote the song. And sometimes it hits you like that. Like sometimes at 3 or 4 in the morning, something will hit me. And it just, like when I did a song for Edie, about her cancer surviving path. She told me her story, and it took me
great song.
Almost, thank you so much. It took me
very inspiring song.
As soon as she told me and she went home, I couldn't sleep. I had to write it. I wrote the whole story, and then the next day I told her, well, here's the song. And she said, wow, that's fast. And she was touched because it encompassed everything about who she was during those years of battling cancer and surviving. That was something that touched my heart when she told me her story.
Yeah, no, yeah, her story is amazing. As a matter of fact, I had her on season 1, amazing story, and like I said, that song is amazing. I did not know or at least I didn't remember you're the one that wrote that song. Great job with that song, man. That song is very inspiring and amazing, dude. Very, very
Thank you. That was important to me. Yeah. I like when we do something that touches other people. Like still to this day, I get people who email me and text me about Who Against Me. And I got like 2 videos of churches actually singing the song. So that was to me like, oof, my hairs, they stand. And a father singing it to his daughter who was in a coma, and he sang her the song, and that I'm ready to cry. The thing is that it touched me to know that that's better than a top 10 record. That's something that's like a touching feeling, and that's what I go for. And I try to teach my artists that don't try to make a hit. Try to make something that comes from your heart. I think that's important. I don't really look for hits. I just look for something that's in the heart to share. And if it gets shared, it's fine.
Let me tell you something, Artie. That is why you're loved by so many artists. Let me tell you something. People are constantly mentioning you, especially Alex Latin Nation.
Oh, I love
But it's people that ama. That guy loves you, bro.
I love him. I love him.
I had Alex on season 1. Dude, I love Alex, bro. And Alex, bro, ese hombre te ama. He loves you, bro.
I did a song for his son that he entrusted to me, and it was about his autistic son. And he turned it into a video. I shot the video. I did the whole 9 yards. And to this day, that song touches me. And his trust is really important to me. Siempre estoy relajando con él. I always say, I got to do it here because I know he's going to watch, but I don't like that guy. I hate him.
Alex, love you, bro. Love you.
Man, I love and adore him. My mother can't tell the difference between us. She says that he looks like me and I look like him. And his mother's name is the same as my mother. His mother's name is Norma, and my mother's name is Norma.
That's my mom's name. That's my mom's name.
You're kidding me.
Oh, bro, Norma.
You wanna laugh even more? When I did the video to Who Against Me, I asked a bunch of people, and I got so many people to return back to me holding up a card saying Who Against Me. But Chris Barbosa, out of all people, he influenced me so much. His productions are amazing. He sent me one with him holding Who Against Me up. And I got to talk to him and get to know him on a very personal basis. And his mother's name is Norma.
Wow, dude. Wow.
So I'm just wondering, where's all this connection coming from? And so that touched me. That was really touching to know. We look alike, although I am more handsome. But we look alike. We look alike, but we have both the same mom. Like Norma. I'm like, yo. I'm like, he's a blessing in disguise. He really is. I call him a carifreco.
And his morning videos that he does, his live, when he goes live on his way to work every morning. They're very uplifting. You get to listen to some jams, and you get to listen to him relajar and him give you a good inspiration. Hey, who loves you? God loves you. I love you, and it's awesome, bro. He's a good dude. He's a really good dude.
When he's on there every now and then, I tell him, do me a favor, please keep your seatbelt on and watch the road.
Yeah, he's sometimes reading the comments, and they do the pavements of the road, bro.
Dude, what are you doing? You're in Jersey with the trucks and everybody trying to go to work. And that's all we need is a flattened, but he's so blessed.
Yo,
he's so blessed.
I'm the one that writes a long message. Yeah.
He's got to get insurance because of you. Look at that.
Mira, what was that particular moment you said, man, I want to do this? for the rest of my life, I want to do music. What was that moment that you said, dude, I want to do this? ¿Cuándo fue ese momento?
I know exactly when. So I used to work in a bank. I used to do foreign exchange in a bank. And they were having this contest at what's called Pier 11 in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing lip syncing contests. So I love George Michael's. If I had ovaries, I would have his kid. But the thing is that I said, I want to do a song. I'll do him. So I brought my music, gave it to the guy, and I did Everything She Wants by Wham. And I won $200. And the pier was filled with people from the boats all the way to the back to Wall Street. And everybody just clapped for me and screamed and the whole 9 yards. I had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden, I'm given $200. And he said, you won. George Michael's won. Wham. And I went back to the office and somebody else told me, oh, I saw you. I can't get your image out now that I hear that song. You did fantastic. Ever since then, JC, I got into the music full-heartedly.
Wow, that's awesome. And what was the music scene like back then when you started compared to now? Especially dance and hip hop, or Latin hip hop, or freestyle, even though it wasn't called freestyle. What was that like back then compared to now?
It was. Well, let's put it this way: you would get paid to perform. Today, nobody wants to pay anybody, so you would get paid to perform, and I had dancers, and then I would go and perform by myself, but you would get paid. But the fun thing about it was that you got to meet some really big name people who would actually come up to you and say, hey, you did good luck, go for it, I really liked your song. And they would give you all that, power to keep going, moving forward. And the crowd and the audience was amazing. Like a lot of the acts that I opened up were people like, who was it? Oh God. I know that I did something with Sapphire when Mark Anthony was singing with her. I opened that show. I opened a show for It Takes Two. It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go. I opened a show for that. I opened many shows with really big names. And it exposed me so much. And besides, back then, they would actually say your name on the radio. Performing live, Tonasia, Artie. And it was wonderful. And you made great friends back then that still last to this day. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot. And the good thing is that we didn't have this thing, internet. Everybody had to talk to each other, meet up at a club and shake hands and share a drink and talk. Today, it's kind of everybody's aloof. Everybody talks on the internet. And I got that. I understand that. But back then, it was so much more nicer to go to a club and meet somebody new, become friends. And you would actually see a crowded audience respond to what you have, which was really nice. I remember Eddie Batiste playing my song at Palladium, and he would let me see the audience response. A lot of people from RPBC, Eddie Rivera, huge person in my life, Eddie Rivera. You would go to he would give you a pass to go to all the clubs and tell all the clubs, hey, he's going to bring you his record. Can you play it and spike it? See what happens. And so a lot of DJs would help with a crowd. And, and if they got away, then you had to work. If they kept dancing, you had some more work to do, but it was good. It was a good feedback. The DJs used to help you. I believe in the power of the DJ because of Mr. Eddie Rivera, and because I would go to the actual clubs and the dances and stuff and be with the DJ, because I thought that was like so important back then. It was more important, even more so than radio back then.
And yeah, and that makes sense because I mean the radio you're listening to, but people want to go spend money, at the club.
Yeah.
From there, they usually, well, man, this made me dance. This made me move. Let me go actually go buy the record.
Yes.
Or the 12-inch or, yeah. What's been one of your proudest moments, career moments to this day? What's been one of your most proudest?
My most proudest moment, I have several. One of them is actually having my wife hear the whole album before she left. The funny part is that a lot of those songs that I wrote, I are dedications to her, but she didn't know that. She just heard it and said, "Okay, who's this for?" and I remember telling her, "Sweetheart, I need you to chill, and I need you to put the headphones on again. Let's listen to the words." And when she played the words, I said, "Does that sound familiar to you? Does that sound familiar?" And she was like, "Oh, okay. All right. That was for me. Okay. But she was so happy and she got to hear the whole album. I was trying to wait and hold on to put it out, but she told me, put it out. And so I did. And she got to see it go up on iTunes in the numbers. It did really, really well. And she got to see that. That's one of my most proudest moments because she was the one, or, throughout my whole career, even when we were hungry, she would tell me, no, continue, keep going. And she was the one, trust me, when I say hungry, there are people who are doing music and they have a regular, steady job. I got that. I understand that. But back then, you sweated and you died for what you want to do. And to this day, I still live off the music industry. I don't have another job. This is what I do all day, a day. My whole life is music. So I'm constantly learning things. I rent the studio. My biggest chunk of money that comes in for the studio is like 75%, and it's all hip hop. So I did some stuff for the history of hip hop. I had some really big names in this little salita in the Bronx. People who have made films, people who are now hosts, at theaters and stuff, and big names. And so I don't say things because I want people to hire me for me, not the names I work with, because that's not going to help them. I want to be part of whatever they have and sprout something brand new and do something like that. Like, yeah, that's important to me.
And what, from that album, from that last album that you're most proud of, what was that one song that meant the most to you?
So This Is Love.
This is love.
So This Is Love. So This Is Love has to do with what I tell everyone, and I tell people, don't take love for granted.
Yeah.
There was times where I was going out to the clubs and stuff, and my wife would wait home for me. And at one time, when I got home at about 3 a.m, I would always give her a kiss and tell her I love her, and she would smile in her sleep, and that would turn me on. I love that. That just made my day that she would do that. But on this particular day, she had my shirt on a pillow. And that alone stopped me from hanging out in the clubs. I needed to stay with her because I didn't want her to hug a pillow. I wanted her to hug me.
Oh, man.
In the middle of the night. So that totally changed my whole life. So I called that. She taught me so much that I found out what is love, what is real love. I didn't know how many years we were married together had gone by so fast. And we look at each other and we would say, it just feels like yesterday we just met and, we fell in love and it feels the same. And she would say, yes, it does. And I said, so this is love. this is how it is. This is how it is. I didn't know the years, 37 years together, married, and it just felt like yesterday. So when I wrote the song "So This Is Love," it was an homage to her.
Wow. Well then. So when you produce a track, what's your creative process like?
Well, the first thing I want to know is, how does the artist sing? There are artists who can sing powerful, and I can go crazy. And then there are artists who are developing and don't have strong vocals, but they have a vocal. I know that I'm going to have to knock them out when they get in here. They call my vocal booth the dungeon for a reason, because I don't really depend on the computer to fix everything. It's there. You can fix things, and I got that. But I really want them to sing, to learn their voice. And so whenever they come, I'm pretty sure Edie and Alex can go ahead and attest to this. So when they come in here, let's put it this way. I've actually sent people home.
Oh, wow.
I give them back their money and I tell them to go home. You sound like crap, go home. It's not going to work today. So I'm really into vocals. And I really would like to hear vocals. You don't have to sound like anybody else, just yourself. Let's try to create that magic. That's important.
I'd definitely be somebody you'd be giving money back to. As a matter of fact, you might still keep my money just for wasting your time.
There, people get pissed off at me for that. So listen,
Really?
Yeah, they would get.
My friends tell me I sound great. Your friends lied to you.
You're in the bathroom and you're singing and you sound fantastic, and that's wonderful. It happens to me. But when you get in front of a mic, that's a different story. That's magnified tenfold. So if that doesn't sound good and tú tienes una ronquería, te voy a mandar para tu casa. Don't waste my time. You're wasting your time and my time. Go get better. Come back and we're going to have fun. And it's not like I'm trying to burlarme de ella. I'm not trying to make fun of them or anything. I'm just saying, when I do vocals and I sound like crap, I send myself home. I'm not doing vocals sounding all ronco. Unless it's going to make me a hit, it's not going to happen.
Any behind the scenes stories from the studio that you can share?
This one's going to make you laugh, and Coro's going to hate me. But Coro has a hellified body. He's a wonderful soul. I love and adore him. He came in to do some vocals on a track, and it was so hot in here. And I had just finished building the booth. And so he came in and he goes, "Yo, it's so hot." And I said, "All right, cool." I mean, he goes, "Do you mind if I take off my shirt?" He took off his shirt and he took off his pants, and he was in there in his Speedos. So I said, "Hey, go for it." I've had women take off their clothes there because it was so hot in here to stand in that booth. So to me, it doesn't bother. The nudity is not the sin; it's what you do with it. And so when he got into the booth and did his vocals, it was normal to me. It didn't bother me. He could stand out here, be naked, doesn't bother me. But my daughter walked in on us. So she saw him standing there. She was going to tell me something, and she looked at him and she went, I said, sweetheart, do you want to tell me something? She goes, okay. All right. And she walked out and closed the door. She went to tell my mother, I saw Coro in his Speedos. That was fun because it made me laugh and cry. But what a professional. To me, it didn't really matter if you wanted to take off your clothes. And trust me, there have been women who are in there well endowed, and they would take off their shirt and just do their thing as they felt comfortable. I tell them, listen, look, first of all, don't worry about it. It doesn't bother me. Just feel, as long as you feel comfortable. If you need a chair to sit down, if you need a water with ice, if you want me to wave a fan at you, as long as we get out of you what we have to get out of you, I'm good. I am so patient and I am so good. So don't worry about it. So to me, nudity was never, even when I was a preacher, it didn't bother me. It wasn't nudity that was the bad thing. It was what you did with it.
Yeah. What a challenge people don't see about producing music.
I think that if you take it, freestyle, number one, once you learn to do a certain genre, hip hop, freestyle, house music, or whatever, it starts to become redundant in your life and things become easy. And so a lot of people you can actually get bored doing this if you have like 10 songs that you're doing. And it starts to become a little mundane. And so the one thing that I always advise people is stop producing so much and get away from it. Because that way you get a crisp new feel. Because when you come in, you're going to do it just like, oh, I could do this in 3 minutes. And so a lot of people are buying songs from guys who can do things in 3 minutes, but they don't know your voice. They don't know who you feel, what you feel, how we can, make things come to you, make it more, it's going to sound like freestyle, but it's kind of like when you listen to a TKA song and you listen to a Cynthia song. They're both similar in that they're both freestyle dance music songs, but they have their own identity.
Yes, they do.
And so when you hear like a George LaMond or you hear a Coro, that's night and day, but they have their own identity. And so I give kudos to those producers who tried to do things differently and cater to the vocalist that was there. And they did that. And so I like to do that. I like to make sure that I can at least try to make sure, although my style will always come through and shine through on every song, it does, it's kind of like when the Bee Gees used to write for what's her name? Oh, when they wrote for Dionne Warwick and when they wrote for Kenny Rogers, their style still poured through, but there were two different identities. And so for me, that's really important. And I think that producers today, there's some really good producers who are out there who are young coming into it, really like they're trying to hone in on the past. I admire them because they're fresh, they're new, they're crisp. And I give them the advice, listen, try to be yourself, let your message come through. Let that come through. That's important.
Yeah. You're not only you are a producer, writer, singer, but you're also a musical arranger, vocal arranger, studio engineer. What is each and every single one of those? What are the differences? What do you do with it? What are each of those?
Well, I remember one thing that Eddie Rivera told me. He would tell me that you're going to have to be a jack of all trades, because back then computers were starting to be introduced. So I started doing engineering for rock bands. Back then I started doing like miking and stuff like that and prepping for live bands. We had a really nice big room. And a couple of those bands used to play at CBGB, so they used to come and rehearse at our place. But one of the things that helped me to be well-rounded is that I have roots within the rock world as well as the hip-hop and as well as the house music and dance music genres. And so that kind of helped me to be who I am today. All those elements need a writer. All those elements need an arranger. All those elements need someone to produce and organize what's going to happen with that performance. I couldn't hire someone at the time to come in and write a song, so I started writing. I couldn't hire someone to come in and arrange, so I would arrange it. I would study arrangements. Wow. And so I became a photographer. I became a videographer. I did many things. I do commercials. I do all of that stuff. But I had to do that for one simple reason: I needed to survive because I live off of this industry.
Yeah.
I don't have another job, so this is what I do. And for almost 40 something years, I've been living off this industry.
Wow. Dude, freestyle fans are known to be very loyal. We're super loyal. I mean, I talk for me. I love Chicago. That's my all-time favorite band. Talk about old Chicago. I grew up on Kiss. But I always go back, by myself going back to freestyle. I go back to freestyle, dude. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Why are we so loyal? Why do we always come back to freestyle?
I think that one of the things that touches us the most is the times that we would go out and interact with other people and enjoy new music that was being played by the DJ. And you would simultaneously share that live together with the people that you were with. And so that sentiment carries over. So like I could hear something way back in the day, like I could hear like Kiss. I love Kiss, by the way. My aunt used to do the boots.
No.
Yes, she's
No.
telling me, yeah. She met them and I hate her. But the thing is that she worked in the fashion industry, and they would come and make boots, and she would do the boots.
Wow.
I think they had many people doing it. But when I saw George Michael's live, I used to have a friend who used to get tickets for Madison Square Garden, and he gave me free tickets to go see George Michael's. I was right in the front. He goes, "Hey, you want to see George Michael?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I appreciated the live situation. I heard him literally, he could spit on me. And I heard him live with a whole choir behind him and his band behind him. And he was amazing to watch. And all that stuff that we get, we always tend to go back and listen to freestyle because it's a connection and it's an easier way to get close to that because one, we may know the people that we've seen at the club singing it or dancing it. And so that becomes a memorabilia path for us that, I can go ahead. When I hear something like a Tonasia, Wondering, I saw a long-haired guy kick up in the sky like 100,000 feet, kicking up the sky, coming down and singing Wondering. And I saw Giggles. Actually, I opened for Giggles. The thing is that I saw her and I couldn't believe her because she was a little gordita. Very nice. A mí me gustan las gorditas. So I saw her and I was like, oh my gosh, she's freaking gorgeous. And she has this voice and it felt so good and it just connected with me. So when I hear that now, it brings me back. When I hear that, it makes me feel comfortable. It puts me in a safe place. So I guess that's what we all go through. We could hear a good rock song like Green Day. We could hear all kinds of stuff, really great stuff. But when we go back to our freestyle, we're like, yeah, I remember when I used to wear, my chino pants and my Dockers. And I used to all of that. That's my stuff. And I feel good. I can go through the day today.
How important is it for you to connect with fans like this? Because I mean, I remember hitting you up and dude, right away, tú me respondiste right away, and I felt a right away connection with you. I don't know
that's fantastic.
I don't know if it was the common the common denominator, which we both believe in the Lord. We're both Christian.
Amen.
We both and I felt right away that you were, just by the way you were talking, just by the way you were texting, just by the way, you and I never actually spoken. We were just typing back and forth, messaging back and forth, and that was just the way. So, how important is your connection with your fans?
First of all, I don't even call them fans. I call them friends.
I love it. I love it.
I can't go up to someone and say, "Oh, you're my fan." That's so selfish. I'd rather have a friend. Like whenever I would host a show and I would see a show and I would go out, it could be like thousands of people or 5 people. I still want to like shake hands and dance with them and find out what's up with them, what's their names and stuff like that. And that's so important to me on a one-to-one basis. I guess it's because of my upbringing in church, and learning to understand that someone else has a connection to you simply because we were created by the same hands, and no one should be less or more than you. We should be even under the eyes of God. And so that's so important to me. That is so understood. I can't take someone and belittle them. That's not happening because Jesus didn't do that. Jesus ate with everyone. I'll eat with everyone.
Amen. You know, it's funny. You just said them out. It was 5 or 1,000 people. You know who said those same words to me in my conversation with him? Alex.
No.
Alex said the exact same thing. I think that's why you guys are similar. I think that's why you guys are. He said those exact same words to me.
I did a show. I did a show once with another artist, and they didn't want to go on. There were only like 4 people showed up to the show.
Really?
And I told them, look, this is called a failure in promotion. Nobody showed up. These people paid. I'm still going to jump on top of a speaker. I'm still going to sing the same way I am. I'm probably going to be all carifrecco, and I'm still going to do my thing, no matter what. You can go home if you want to. I just want to have a good time with these people. Those same 4 people still follow me because it was something that I did, not only because I didn't never let ego thing get in the way. If there's 2 people, I'm doing my thing because I love doing it. But more importantly, I'm making somebody smile and be happy. That I actually took the time to say, okay, you 4 people are just as important as 1,000. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun.
That's
and
awesome.
That's really important.
And that's awesome. Talk about the fans or your friends. What's a fan moment or friend moment that's really stuck with you over the years?
The one that stuck with me is the father playing "Who Against Me" to his daughter, who was in a coma. That is like something that's like it's buried right here. It felt great, and to see a church singing "Who Against Me" was beautiful. That's what stuck with me. Just that father thanking me for that. And I tell him now, it's all glory goes to the Lord. I was given a message to give it for free. I didn't charge for the copies. I just gave it out. And I told the guys that's what I was going to do because that message came to me so quickly, and I felt the presence, and I wrote it, and I had to give it out. I didn't think people would care about the song. I just did it because I felt it in my heart, and so that touched me. And the many little emails that I get, even to this day, of people playing it and being blessed. That's the one moment that touched my heart. That's like really killed it for me. That was like that was it. That was it.
Well, and talk about that in line of having other people not just sing your songs but playing your songs. Some of your music has been heard around the world. How does that feel? What comes to mind knowing that your music has been heard in Mexico, Brazil, Germany, I mean, Paris. I mean, dude, around the world.
I bug out because I don't really hear this being done, or people don't come up to me honestly. I find out because I get my ASCAP payments, and it tells me where it's been played. Wow. All the places that you mentioned, Switzerland, Zurich, Africa, all the places are listed where they played on television shows and radio shows. And I bug out with that. I got to show my wife and I said, honey, look, when I got our payment when we first got together, I treated her to everything she wanted. But the thing is that I showed her, look where it's being played. When I got Batman, the series, and they were playing my stuff, I bugged out. We all screamed. We were like, yeah. In the scene, the cartoon Batman is lifting weights. And I'm getting ready for a show. She's ironing my shirt. And I'm hearing my song in the background while Batman is lifting his weights. I'm like, yo, that's the song. That's my song. And then I heard it. I don't know if you remember the show that said that was Life Goes On.
Yes.
About a Down syndrome individual. So they're headed to a boat where there's a party. And again, I'm getting ready for a show. And they're playing my music in the boat. And I'm like, yo, that's my song. And those were really great moments. Just to know that somebody out there is playing my stuff and they like it, stuff like that, that's touching to me. That's touching.
That's awesome, man. And now, has there ever been a moment where you said, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to quit?
Oh, God. Everyone would be lying if they say, no, that never happened to me. Of course it's happened to you. It's, number one, it's a drudgery, especially if you live doing this. When you live doing this, it's kind of like going to your office. And it offends me when somebody wants to lower my price. I'm like, dude, if I go to your office and ask you to work for free one day, would you do it? They wouldn't. So then why are you offending me? You need to pay me. Yeah. It's my livelihood. So to me, it's just a matter of just staying with what I know and how I feel. There are times where I have to walk away from this living room and just go take a walk, do something else, get into film and video and stuff like that, and then come back to this. And I'm like, woo, I'm feeling really good. I just finished a song for Edie. I just finished a song for Alex. He just put it out. I'm really proud of him. I also do other things. I don't just do this. If I was to do this only for almost 37 years, I think I would go nuts. So it's a real thing. I love doing this. I forgot who was the writer that said, I love having written, but I hate having to write. And so that's an indirect quote. So we all love doing things and getting things done, but we hate the process of doing it again. It's just, we know we have to do it again, the same process. So I just do other things. Like this year right now in June, I'm hosting, along with my partner in crime, Jose Rivera, the Bronx Puerto Rican Day Parade. We're getting ready for that. So I think it's in June 6th. I'm getting ready for that. And so I do lots of other things. I do designs. I do posters. I've worked with Dunkin' Donuts. I've done different design. I do designs. I do flyers. I do videos. I do different types of things. I had to be a jack of all trades in order to survive, to eat.
Yeah. And you said you do film also? Yeah,
I do film. Yeah. I did sound for a film called Bully, and it's on how do you call it? I forgot the name of that. Not Netflix. The other one.
Tubi, Prime.
Prime. It's on Prime, and it's called Bully. I did the sound for that film. And I was very happy and proud that when it got on Prime, I was really happy. Now I did another one that's going to be coming out. It's called Isa. These are independent films.
Yeah.
So I've got another film that I'll be doing towards the middle of the year, this year. So I keep myself busy. It becomes interesting because I get to see and feel different people. And I don't necessarily put it out there. I don't like people to know, you know, I don't like to put it up there and go, ha ha, I'm better than you. Look at this. Look what I'm doing. I don't like that. I just, when you find out, then I'm happy and we can talk about it. But I don't like, como que te dice, alábate pollo que mañana te guisan. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't like doing that. I think it's my church thing. You know, it's actually, let's not call it church. It's the Lord's thing.
You know, I love your humbleness, man. I love your humbleness.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
But now I want to transition a little bit before we go back and wrap up. I want to talk about the Lord. What's it like being a Christian, being a follower of Jesus in your industry, man? What is it like being as chaotic as your industry can be? What is it like being a Christian, a follower of Christ in your industry, man?
First of all, I don't judge anyone. I leave that up to God. So many people are saying you're not going to heaven. You're not going to heaven. Oh, you're not a Christian. You're not this. And what we're doing is we're judging ourselves sevenfold just by pointing out someone else's error. Instead of doing that, take the log out of your eye and help your brother. The thing is that in the music industry, you will meet lots of different people, a lot of different faiths, a lot of different, how do you call it? People who do things differently than you do. How are you supposed to act? Well, there's a perfect example. Jesus sat down and ate with everyone. And if you really want to be a Christian and you really want to know what God is talking to us about, all you have to do is read about what Jesus did. And he looked for the worst of the worst. He hung out with prostitutes. He hung out with people who were thieves. He brought these people in and showed them love. So if he did that, how much more should I do that? Mm-hmm. I shouldn't judge you simply from the color of your skin. I can't judge you by how you dance. I can't judge you by how you dress. But I can do one thing. I can sit down and have a meal with you and we can laugh at the moment. Because when we're gone, then comes the judgment. It's not while we're here telling others that you're going to heaven and you're going to hell. You can't do that. You can tell them there's a way to heaven. You can tell them that there's a way to hell. But you can sit down with them and eat and make a much better example like Jesus did. He actually sat and ate with everyone.
Yeah. And you said you were a pastor, right?
I was going to be a pastor. Yeah.
You want to be a pastor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Look, I would be remiss if I went on ahead and denied things that I saw and I felt with my own heart and my own soul. I've seen people healed through the power of Jesus Christ. I've seen people totally change their lives through the power of Jesus Christ. They didn't have to come to my church. They just have to have that one-on-one with God. That's the first important church you got to take care of is this. It's not the four walls. Yeah, the temple. Yes, this is it. This is first. This is the first encounter. This is your first church. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that would be a blessing above all things.
Any advice for young, not just freestyle artists, but any artist that wants to start today and get into the business? Any advice you have for them?
One of the things they try to get me to do is teach them. I'm a lousy teacher. I don't have patience for it. So I show them what to get. And I show them what each thing does and let them go off, you know. I don't like the people who say, no, you have to do drums like this. No, you have to do this like that. And then when you see the life of Queen, when you see the greatest band in the world, Queen, writing their stuff, they're swinging speakers to try to get a sound. They're hit, you know, you got Michael Jackson going out to a beat up car and breaking the windows and doing all this. I tell all the new producers who ever talk to me, I tell them, look, do me a favor. There are a lot of people who do the I know this and you should do this way. Don't do that. Do what's in your heart. Go by your feeling. Let's get that first. Let's get that registration down first. And so for me, it's more about showing them, how to get their signature into their music and feel good about doing it.
Yeah.
That works much better. That just works much better. I built like about 4 or 5 studios.
Wow.
Yeah, they hire me to do it. I go ahead and do it, and they're happy. And then every now and then they call me, and and it's wonderful. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Let's do a quick rapid fire round, just for fun.
Okay, all right, okay.
Dream collaboration, past or present, doesn't matter. Whether they're alive, dead. Any dream collaboration.
What was that again? I'm sorry. Say it again.
What would be a dream collaboration, past or present?
Oh God. She passed away. I wanted to work with Donna Summer.
Really nice.
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
The queen of disco.
Oh, she was amazing.
Yeah. Studio or stage?
Studio or stage?
Yeah. What do you prefer?
Stage.
Yeah.
Stage.
Favorite freestyle song that's not yours?
Oh, the one song that really gets to me is "Runaway" by Johnny O. And the reason why it gets to me is because the producer did it in his house, and it made it and it went crazy hit worldwide, and he did it out of his house. That's what a genius that guy is.
If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
I would be doing film. So video.
That's what you actually you like doing that too, huh?
If I could do that full time, and have backing, there's a couple of films in my head that I would like to get out.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I like interacting with people.
One thing fans would be surprised to know about you.
I don't think it's a surprise, but that I like to sing to big women. When I was with my partner Legit back then at the days, I would say, you sing to the skinny girls, I'll sing to the big girls. And on my side of the stage, there would be a lot of the big girls. And on his side would be a lot of skinny girls. And I'd be happy.
A mí no me gustan las placas tampoco, bro. A mí no me gusta la placa, a mí tampoco. What's next for you in 2026? What else can we expect from Artie in 2026?
I have a surprise. George G is getting together with me, and he's putting me in front of a salsa band.
Really?
Yeah, wow, that even surprised you.
Nice.
It surprised the hell out of me. My wife always wanted me to do Spanish, but I didn't think that I could speak it right. Because when I was a kid, I couldn't roll my R's, and the old guys would smack me off the back of my head. Oye, canta eso bien, ¿qué es eso? And I couldn't. And so that kind of stuck with me. And so George G this past year told me, hey, why don't you try doing this song and with a salsa, and I said, you know what, George, you got it. Let's do it. And I'm in the studio now doing that.
Oh, bro, that's awesome, man. Looking forward to that. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in freestyle music? Well, before I get to that, it's amazing how freestyle music, it looks like it's beginning to fizzle away, and then here it comes back. Then it starts fizzling away, and here it comes back. And I think right now it's probably stronger than ever. We got everybody putting on new music. We got Sharon. Sharma Sharon putting new music. Deneen, you, Alex, Edie. We got people putting out new music all the time.
Yeah. I try to hold the people that I'm with, and I tell them, look, there's only but so many notes in the musical sphere.
Mm-hmm.
You got like what, 9 notes? Look, you don't have to put out a song every week. It becomes a waste because you're wasting money putting out something that people just don't want to buy. They want to try to get a copy and have it for themselves. So what you want to do is strategically put stuff out and not be a part of the furniture. A lot of the artists that I hear, I hear a lot of these artists have even more potential than just the genre that they picked. I hear some amazing vocals, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Case in point, I used to perform with Mark Anthony. I used to open the show, and I used to watch his show. And I would often wonder when I saw him on stage, what is he doing here? Why is he doing this? When I heard his voice, I was like, why is he doing this? Like, why isn't he like in front of a band? Why isn't he? Those are the thoughts that were going through my head because I used to sing with a band when I was a kid. When I saw him, I was like, why is he doing so? Today, I hear some people that I won't mention any names. I don't want to offend anyone, but I hear them and I'm like, what are you doing this for? You can actually be in front of a band. Is there any way you can get somebody to like back? I would buy that record. To hear you sing solo with a guitar, that would be amazing. But it is what it is. People like what they do, and that's okay. That's fine by me. It doesn't bother me.
Before I let you go, what message would you like to leave with the listeners?
Don't treat life like it's going to last forever. And understand that the memories that you take with you, and it's been proven, out of everything that you've ever done or you ever made materialistically, the only thing you're going to take with you is love. Strive to treat your man with love. Treat your fellow man with love. Feed the hungry. And understand that we only have each other until we're called to the great house. That great house is going to have a judgment day. Do everything you can here to leave in a good situation. Don't do things to hurt others because you're going to take that with you and you're going to regret it. As much as you say you're not, you will. Yeah. Because nobody understands what it's like, not even me, to die, but we can hear it in Jesus' voice. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's the climactic part of dying. So while you're here, this great gift that we have of breathing and seeing each other, just be kind before you go. Put something in the bank that comes from your soul, so when you get there, you have a house in heaven.
Well, what does the good word said? The good book says, store things in heaven, not here. You know,
you have your bank.
Prepare for the next life. Don't prepare for this one.
You're here, and so I always look at what Jesus would do. And he would just sit down and break bread with everyone. The most spiritual thing you can do with someone else is to actually sit down and have a meal and share a meal with somebody else and get to know that person and be edified by them, be blessed. But we don't do that these days. These days, we keep our own plate full and we don't share. And that's not right. That's something that's going to hurt you in the long run. Jesus will ask you, hey, I shared a couple of fish with thousands of people. You couldn't share a fourth of your plate? Come on.
Amen. Where can people follow you online and hear your music?
I'm on Facebook. I've been on Facebook for years. I keep getting friend requests, and I don't want anybody to be offended, but I can't accept anybody else because every time I click, it says you have too many friends. I wish they would make more so I can have more friends. I feel like I don't want anyone to be offended that's happening, but you can find me on Facebook. I usually write little things. I like, whenever I get an inspiration, I like to share on Facebook, but I don't like the bochinches. I don't add to the fire. I stay away. Matter of fact, the music business is filled with bochinche because we're protecting our own. And I got that. But I have to elude myself from that. And Prince said it best. Prince said, you know what? I'm going to put up my own website. I'm going to get away from these record companies. I'm going to sell my music on my own. I'm going to get away from everybody. And I loved him for that. I loved him for that.
I love that you just said that because we have way too many, I'm not going to say names either, but we have way too many artists who's trying to sell their music, and not just artists, but same thing in the film industry. I've got friends in the film industry. They're not big names like Robert De Niro or anything, but or Steven Spielberg, but they're trying to sell their little film, but yet they want to attack people. They want to meterle cuchillo and add a bochinche. You can't do that, guys. You're alienating fans. You're alienating the people that are going to feed you. You're alienating people. So I love that you're doing that. I love that you are the way you are. Man, God bless you, man.
Well, you know what to say, CJ, I'm sorry to interrupt you. JC, the thing is that whenever you do something to somebody else, remember that bank that I was telling you about. The more you have less when you leave this, because you're protecting something that is material, and this isn't going to be here for too long.
No.
So if you could remember that and be kind to one another, that would be best. I mean, everybody's trying to defend what they have, and they don't want anybody else to do what they're doing. Big surprise, the world is really big, and you're living in a microcosmic world. You need to understand that the more you give from your soul, the bigger the prize at the end of the road.
Amen. Amen. Folks, all of Artie's, his link, his Spotify channel, his iTunes, all that stuff is going to be on the description of this episode. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow Artie. Yeah, he's on Facebook. You might not be able to add him as a friend, but you can still follow him. You'll be able to see whatever he shares. As a follower, you can be able to see whatever he shares. Artie.
JC.
Un abrazo fuerte, bro. Muchas gracias. Thank you for your show. Dios te bendiga siempre.
My prayers to you and your family. Be blessed and enjoy life. It's so short, but just enjoy life. You're a good man.
Love you, bro.
God bless you, man.
God bless you.
Dios te bendiga.
Amén.